Welcome guys, welcome. What late OP? I was dot on time. I'm always on time, especially when I'm coming alone. I am not even 1 minute late. How it is late OP? It says 6:30. I started it at 6:30. So, who all are excited for this Mikhail Tal episode? So I have done a lot of streams, and I remember in number of streams, some a lot of guys will be saying we want show some Tal effect, show some Tal games. So today I've got bunch of games. But before that, before before I get to Tal game, I have selected some very interesting positions, very interesting games. First, I want to see how much do you know about Mikhail Tal. So some very like general question. My first question is, what is Tal's full name? When was he born? And where was he born? Without Google, guys. Let's see. I want it without Google. What is Tal's full name? When was he born? And in which country and city was he born? Today will be totally Mikhail Tal's episode. One's very smart, yeah. He was born on 8th November, and that's why I'm making the stream on 9th November. Latvia, Riga, yeah. Riga is right. So Mikhail Tal, his full name was Mikhail Nekhamich Tal, was born in Riga, which is capital of Latvia, on 9th of November 1936. Latvia is also like Baltic country, yeah. Like there are three countries in this Baltic zone: Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. So Tal was born in Latvia. Good. Which year Tal became world champion by defeating whom? I have to increase my volume. Uh, I can keep the mic here. Actually, I can wear like this, but it kind of this is better. You know what? Maybe I'll keep it like this. I'll just hold it here. Okay, high bandwidth. Forget about the background right now. Background will get better. This is just for photo. AD is on the chat. I was born on 15th August 1992. Thanks for asking, gangs. Means a lot to me. Thank you, thank you. That's my whole stream was meant for this, Adivan. Thanks for joining. Yeah, in 1960.
Почти 2 месяца длился матч на звание чемпиона мира по шахматам между Михаилом Ботвинником и Михаилом Талем. Победу одержал Таль. В театре имени Пушкина торжественное закрытие матча на первенство мира по шахматам. Молодой рижский гроссмейстер занял место Михаила Ботвинника, который достойно представлял советскую шахматную школу и 12 лет был чемпионом мира. Гроссмейстер Михаил Таль стал 8-м чемпионом мира по шахматам. Почти 2 месяца длился матч на звание чемпиона мира по шахматам.
Who are these two people in this picture? Oh. That's because of the audio output. Okay. Got it. Yeah, that's because of the audio thing. So,
Почти 2 месяца длился матч.
Yeah, in here it should be fine. Yeah, I get it, Sankal. So the video was loud. Yeah, Abhinava Majumdar is right. No, this is definitely not Fischer. No, this is not Fidel Castro. Yeah, Abhik Datta, you are right. This is Tal and Ernesto Che Guevara, Havana Olympiad 1966. Okay, next one before I jump into. Even I have like highest volume. I don't even know how I can increase more than this actually. I literally have the highest volume. Is this better? Okay, let's get this sorted first. Is this better now? Kind of literally screaming. You know, Adivan, right now I'm talking in your voice, not even my voice. I'm talking literally in your voice. Should be fine. Yeah, no, it's not Fidel Castro, it's Che Guevara. Okay, the next one is when Tal died. Which year Tal died? Yeah, I will lower my video volume, but there is no video right now. Okay, you know what? Check this. Check. Somehow it's not increasing. Hang on, let me see. Properties. All right. Ah, okay. See, OBS Grandmaster. OBS Grandmaster. Look. Now I'm talking. Now you guys will understand. You know how it feels when Adiban is around. See, this is my voice. Yeah. So Tal died in 1992, June 1992 in Moscow. I remember this very vividly because back then I was playing under 10 championship in Germany. That's where we. Oh, now I am loud. Yeah. We don't say loud. We say now I am Adiban. Good. Thanks, Vaibhav. All right. So Tal died in 1992. In Moscow. Yeah. So that's his monument over there. Now we get to the chess part. There are many more videos and photos I want to share. So stay tuned. But before that, some positions. So I have selected, like, also for Tal, right? It's kind of gets tricky because all the games are very famous, and it's not easy to find something that is that people will not know. But I am still confident that there will be positions where some of you will not know, and including everyone who are watching this. So the first one. All cool with background, because suddenly I'll start getting background is not good. You have to move on your right, on your left. So this is the first position that I chose. Now for Tal, right? I don't know how many of you have seen, how many of you have analyzed Tal's games. This I know is Adiban's favorite book. It's also one of my favorite book. This is also Padmini's one of favorite book. How many of you have it and how many of you read it? You see it? Life and Games of Mikhail Tal. It's a fantastic book. It's written by Tal, and it's written in a very nice way. Tal becomes a journalist, like an imaginary journalist, and he is taking his own interview. Hey, I cannot, Avinash, now I cannot keep it left and right because there is this black thing here, yeah? So if I keep the board there, all the pieces kind of goes away. So please adjust with the board on your right. I'm sure this is not a very big problem. So, so basically Tal was very intuitive player. And if you put this book into computer, probably like 90% of things will be refuted, but that doesn't matter. As I keep on saying, like if you start checking Tal's games with engine, then you will miss all the beauties, all the imaginations that he had. You will miss. So I will show some of the games. So this is the first one. Somebody says, Anuj Bhosle, I am not funny. Yeah, well, Anuj, I am not exactly competing for anything to become the best, funniest man in the world. So I'm cool. I think also this is meant for this Tal episode, so it will be slightly chess oriented. Please bear with me. And yeah, if you were looking for just some fun, then probably it will be Tal oriented this episode. So guys, yeah, please bear with me. So this position, right? Tal was white. He takes rook into f5. Objectively, okay, if you turn on engine, it says bishop d4 is the best move. But rook f5, it's also very hard to resist. So rook f5, he took, bishop f5, g6. Now what I really loved about this game, this game has a what Tal saw, it had a great flaw, but still when I read his comments in this particular book, I was like completely blown away. So Tal says he played bishop d4. This is what he was calculating when he took rook f5. Okay, so takes g6, he plays bishop d4. In the game, his opponent played king g8. So basically, okay, now this is threatened, and obviously you cannot take on e5 because the queen is gone. So Tal says he was mainly concerned about queen d8. So fair enough. I mean, queen d8 is a very natural move because either way, black has some defensive ideas. So Tal started his calculation by checking e6. So now the point is, okay, if bishop f6, I have e7. Still, this is the most natural thing. So then he spotted there is bishop f6. What to do now? How to play as white here? Yeah, Nova effect. Definitely, I'm going to show the hippopotamus story and I'm going to read it out to all the viewers. Hey Ariksha, yeah, for sure. Like I'll do a stream with Samay for sure. That will be tomorrow. But this one today is my solo episode. Yeah, e7 is not possible, guys. E7 means there is a check, right? E7 is check. Yeah, Olympiad is right. Queen h4 is the move. I mean, that's what Tal saw. It's not the best move, but that's what Tal saw. And he saw there is f into e6. Okay, because of course this is pin. And if you take, then I take and I have e7. So f into e6. He saw rook into e6. And here initially he thought it is winning. The reason is... what? Anish is in the chat? Seriously? Okay, I missed that. I don't see... Anish. Yeah, queen h4. Wow. Yeah, so queen h4, initially Tal, that's what he saw. But he saw there is no king g7 here. Because then we take and bishop e4, and Tal says, it's completely winning, which is correct. Because, okay, this guy is pin, and either way you will get your knight somewhere. But then he figured out that there is a killing move as black here. What is the move that wins for black? The only move which saves the game, and not only saves the game but also wins for black. So black to play, what is that only move in this position which saves black's game, and also then black is basically winning. Yeah, Adiban, you are absolutely right. Bishop e5. So Tal says, like bishop e5 was the move that bothered him, and now nothing is to be done. The same was not possible with the bishop on g7, because then takes and there is rook g7 check. Sorry, rook e7 check. So bishop e5 was the move. Having this in mind, Tal considered that okay, e6 does not work, so I will take e into d6. So now bishop f6. Now I will play queen g4. And his calculation was king g7. So look at his imagination. From a distance, he is looking at this move, and then he gets to this position, king g7. Now what, guys? Is it winning? Is it losing? Is it draw? What is this position? What do you think about this position? Open to all, guys. Open to all. Rook e7, losing. Rook e7. Okay, I know Adiban is there. Anish is there. Okay, draw. Rook e7. White is winning. Rook e7. Guys, rook e7, there is queen takes d6. Rook e7, there is queen takes d6, yeah? You see? For rook e7, there is queen d6. Rook e7 is queen d6, yeah. Absolutely. No, Adiban found it. It's a fascinating move, and when I saw this move for the first time, I was like, who has this kind of imagination, yeah? What is bishop d7? I mean, and who sees this from a distance? What kind of imagination you need to find bishop d7? So what is the point? Yeah, let's try to understand the point. So first of all, the bishop is attacked. You cannot take here. If you take here, I give a check and then I take the bishop, right? You cannot take with the queen because I take here. So that leaves basically the only move. You have to take with the bishop. And now I play knight d5. Takes, f6, rook e7, and white is winning. So this was Tal's calculation. But you know, with the, like, he was one of the most romantic player of chess history. But you know, when you put such things in computer, you get immediately the answer that what Tal missed. Actually, Tal even missed this in his analysis. At least in the book, it is not mentioned. He missed bishop g7 here. Then I was thinking, which is actually understandable. Bishop g7 wins on the spot for, like, black does not have to play king g7. But it is understandable because, you know, he was calculating this with e6 and there bishop g7 was not working. So maybe some kind of mental block where, you know, he misses bishop g7. I mean, a person is definitely capable of seeing bishop g7 if he is capable of seeing king g7, bishop d7, right? So anyways, in the game, none of these things happened. In the game, his opponent played king g8. And then, of course, Tal gets immediate attack. So takes, bishop takes g6. Okay, obviously you cannot take because there is mate. Rook g7, check. And also, once again, we see there are many moves to win in this position. But Tal, having his own, you know, aesthetic value, he goes for bishop e8. So yeah, if you take, it's just mate. Take twice and mate. And yeah, then he won this game. So I just wanted to show this particular position for this bishop d7 trick. Next one, also very interesting. Did I get this correct? Yeah. So this is in 1962. So already Tal is world champion. Yeah, Tal became world champion in 1960. So he's world champion, and here he plays a move which is very risky. But okay, also very typical of Tal. So he plays queen b4. Now he mentions that this was not an easy decision at all, which is understandable. Yeah, like you don't want to put your queen on b4. I mean, for instance, yeah, like for instance, right now, rook a4 does not work because I take, and after bishop d1, this queen is trapped, but there is queen takes b2. So you take, I have knight d3, right? So white should have played castle. That's what he should have played. And Tal says, he was planning, he gives some line what he was planning with b6 and all. But the thing is, in the game, his opponent played knight f4. Now we see another piece of imagination. Also very, very interesting, very instructive. What Tal found here. Not just one move, but you have to give the follow-up. What Tal found here. This is black 2. Oh, sorry. What did I do? No. Yeah, this is black to play. So what Tal found here? Adiban goes like bishop h3. Now Adiban is like, absolutely, whatever sacrifice I can do, I will do it. So what all I am getting? I am getting knight f3, bishop h3, knight e4, bishop h3. People are like bishop h3, bishop h3. Guys, this is the problem, yeah? If I'll tell you a story. It's very important that we should have our own opinion, because I see everybody is following bishop h3. Bishop h3 is not the move, guys. Bishop h3 is not the move. There is a very famous story. So there is a monk in, like let's say in some place, and winter was coming. So this monk, his disciple kind of asks him, will this winter be very strong? The monk says, yeah, this will be very strong. It will be very strong winter. And they used to believe that this monk is visionary, so he can see future. So he says, yeah, it will be very strong winter. Now this disciples starts collecting woods and all. Now the monk thinks, all right, you know what? Let me check with the weather department just in case. It's a small village area. So let me check with the weather department. So he makes a call, but he is a famous monk, so he doesn't want to reveal himself. So he says, I'm just calling and I want to check how will be the winter. Then the guy from the weather department says, the winter will be very heavy. Winter will be very heavy, yeah? Like it will be very cold. So monks, he asks his disciples to collect more wood, make some woolen clothes and all. And all his disciples are making clothes, collecting woods. But the weather is not changing. So then again, after 1 or 2 weeks, a monk gets kind of suspicious. He calls the weather department again and says, are you sure it will be very cold? He says, yeah, this will be very chilling. He said, it will be very chilling. He again gives the instruction to the disciple that, this time it will be freezing. This will be the coldest winter. You have to collect as many woods as possible. You have to get as many warm clothes as possible. And all his disciples are collecting woods and, making warm clothes. Then still weather is like perfectly fine. There is no sign of winter. After a couple of weeks, now the monk is like really confused. So he calls the weather department and, he doesn't give his name and he says, all right, how will be the winter? He says, the weather guy says, the winter is going to be horrific this time. It will be so chilly that you cannot even imagine. Now the monk loses it. Yeah. Now he says, I have been calling for so many times and you are saying the same story, but the weather is not changing. Are you sure whatever way you are, measuring the weather, it is perfect? The guy says, I agree that, our measure is not perfect, but in our village, there is a monk who is able to see the future, and he has been instructing all his disciples to collect woods and, they are making winter. So we could be wrong, but the monk cannot be wrong. So guys, basically, if Adiban says a move, if you say, 90% of time it will be correct, but 10% of time it may not be correct. So the best thing is to follow your own instinct. Whatever it is, follow your own instinct. Let's not follow anyone. Nice story, na? Anyways, back to the game, guys. Back to the game. So Tal took knight into d5 here. So the way I understand it, if I can take the liberty to explain, how he might have seen this. So knight d5, e d5, I'm sure his first move was knight d3 check. Story didn't really apply here. Well, Anish, this was not for you, but for others who were copying Adiban's every move, yeah? It was only for that. So he must have seen knight d3, but then there is king f1. So look at this intermediate thing. He plays knight takes d5, e takes d5, and now h6. Not the other way around. I saw some people said first h6, but then I can take bishop into f6. So first take h6. And suddenly this bishop does not have a square. Let's see what he can do. Okay, first of all, black is a piece down. If you take here, I take, this rook is under attack. So you cannot take. Now where this bishop can go? If it goes here, now I have knight d3 check. Hey Sudarshan, thank you. Oh yeah, I have started membership, guys, and yeah, I'll explain in the video at some point. Yeah, feel free to join me. It'll be nice if you all become member. And thanks for all your support. So anyway, after knight d3 check, okay, you cannot take, and f4 is hanging. So where else to go? If you take, then I just take, because this king is pinned. If you play bishop e3, look at this imagination. Fine imagination. Now knight into f3. So g into f3. Now rook into e3. Now the problem is this knight is hanging out of nowhere. And if you take, I take, you have to move this rook, then I take this knight. Yeah. So there is nothing to do. And this is the best move. Like after h6, basically, yeah, white played knight b c5, very desperate. And then Tal won the game eventually. So we'll see some full games also. Here I just wanted to show some, in bits and pieces, so that you get some kind of idea of Tal's imagination. I really loved this. I don't know how many of you knew this, but when I saw this, for me, this was very unusual in a way. 1962. By the way, guys, yeah, one question here. This Varna Olympiad, right? What was the most... wait, is this Olympiad? This is the preliminary Olympiad. Okay. So I just wanted to show another thing from Varna Olympiad. In Varna Olympiad, which took place, there was a very, very famous game historically. Fischer, for the first time, and as well as for the last time, played against Botvinnik. And this was historical because Botvinnik was, like world champion. He was not playing too many games, and Fischer was very young. But Fischer was very confident. He wanted to beat Botvinnik. And in a Grunfeld defense, Fischer got completely winning position. And then they got into some rook pawn endgame, which is not part of this stream, but I would love to stream that someday. In this Varna Olympiad, they worked whole night. Tal, Keres, all the people, Geller, and they found a fascinating defense for Botvinnik, and which Fischer missed in adjournment. I forgot who it was. I think it was Geller who found the defense, but maybe Anish can correct me if he's there on the chat. So I got a little bit from one small clipping from Varna Olympiad. You see Fischer is playing Botvinnik, 1962, and this is after the draw. They're signing, and then Botvinnik is very happy because when the adjournment took place, it was they were not sure, and yeah, then we look at Botvinnik. Is very happy that he escaped with a draw. So this was a very important moment historically. All right, back to chess, guys. So I move to my next example, which is also very tricky, very sneaky, Tal. So Tal goes here, knight d5, which is fine. Opponent takes, bishop takes b2. So according to Tal, his opponent thought he took substantial amount of time to play bishop takes b2. Adivan is asking, was the opening choice important to get that kind of position? Yeah, sure. So opponent took bishop takes b2. He calculated that okay, rook b1 will happen, bishop takes d5, e takes d5, and Tal says his opponent played the next move very fast because he was counting on one particular trick, and this is a blunder. Opponent had to play he had to play queen f6 basically, because the point is, okay, if you go bishop f6, then I trap your knight with g4. But opponent played rook b8. This is a blunder. Can somebody point out and tell me why this is a blunder? Divan, you know this. Alright. So those who don't know this position. Also another thing I found, let's say if somebody would give me this position and tell, this is white to play and win, it's then it is probably not very difficult to find. But to spot this in a game when you are never sure whether it's winning or not, that's where I think your alertness and imagination, everything comes into picture. Bishop c1, no, bishop c1 I will take. If you play knight g5, I'll save the mate. Yeah, black has a free pawn right now, but black is completely losing. No, queen into a6, okay, if you take my a6 pawn, it will just be equal. Okay, Olympiad says c3, that is the correct move. c3, you want to take this bishop, but his opponent had seen this. His opponent had a fantastic idea, which would work only if Tal didn't have the brilliant combination here. It's very unusual. So his opponent played queen f6. So now this guy is attacked, and the point is, if you play bishop d2 here, I will play queen g6. I will say I'm going to change the queen, and then this bishop, you cannot attack it. So what is it? What is his opponent missed after queen f6? Yeah, Dhruv, Samay can definitely join, but I think he is also busy in he has also a stream. So yeah, queen e2. Queen e2 is a fantastic move. Who could think that here suddenly black is going to have back rank problem out of nowhere? Just imagine, also look at this psychology. When Tal opted for this, he actually realized there will be a back rank problem. There are 3 pieces right now. How black can have back rank problem? But yes, he is having back rank issues. Queen e2 is basically resignation. The point is, okay, now you have to either move the bishop or you can take queen takes c3. If you take queen takes c3, look at this imagination, yeah? Bishop c1. Now you are attacking this guy with 3 pieces, which means, okay, he has to take, he has no other choice. And now finally back rank. You cannot take rook b8 because there is queen e8 mate. So you cannot take queen c3 because queen c3 there is bishop c1. His opponent took bishop c3. Now back rank is coming in a different way. You take on b8, and now bishop g5. Queen is attacked. Queen is coming to e8. Okay, his opponent took here and then bishop f6. So what was very amazing for me was that, from a distance, from here, he gets this imagination, yeah? Like, look at this move, queen e2, and then you have this bishop c1 trick and bishop g5 trick, and then there is finally back rank. Did you like it, guys? What do you think about this combination? I'm not sure if, even very strong player, they will be able to find it on the board. It's very easy to miss. Like as a problem, yes, but in the game, it is possible to miss. It's definitely possible to miss such a cunning tactics. Next one. So guys, this is what is going to happen now. I'm going to read you a story, okay, from this book. Okay, now this was the position. I will read you a story, all right, quote unquote, from this book. If you have this book, then go to page 64. You will know what I am reading. So it says, Tal says, yeah, for instance, I will never forget my game with Grandmaster Vazyukov or Vezukov. I don't know how to exactly pronounce. Maybe Anish will correct me. But I don't know if Tal saw it from knight d5. I don't know. So he says, for instance, I will never forget my game with Grandmaster Vazyukov in one of the USSR championships. We reached a very complicated position. Now you know what is the position. This is the position, guys, that Tal is talking about. We reached a very complicated position where I was intending to sacrifice a knight. So yeah, he was threatening knight into he is planning knight into g7 here. The sacrifice was not altogether obvious, and there were a large number of possible variations. But when I consciously began to work with them, I found, to my horror, that nothing would come of it. Ideas piled up one after another. I would transport a subtle reply by my opponent, which worked in one case, to another situation where it would naturally prove to be quite useless. As a result, my head became filled with a completely chaotic pile of all sorts of moves, and the famous tree of variations from which the trainers recommend that you cut off the small branches, in this case, spread with unbelievable rapidly. Okay. Then suddenly, for some reason, I remembered the classic couplet by Korney Ivanovich Chukovsky. I am not aware of this author. So he mentions, oh, what a difficult job it was to drag out the marsh, the hippopotamus. What is the marsh, the hippopotamus? I have a picture here. So this is what Tal is thinking about. Now Tal says, I don't know from what this hippopotamus got onto chessboard, but although the spectators were convinced that I was continuing to study the position, I, despite my humanitarian education, was trying at this time to work out just how would you drag a hippopotamus out of a marsh. I remember how jacks figured in my thoughts, as well as levers, helicopters, and even a rope ladder. After lengthy consideration, I admitted defeat as an engineer and thought spitefully, well, let it drown. Suddenly, the hippopotamus disappeared. Okay? Went from the chessboard just as he had come on, of his own accord. Straight away, the position did not appear to be so complicated. I somehow realized that it was not possible to calculate all the variations, and the knight sacrifice was by its very and the knight sacrifice was very natural, purely intuitive. Since it promised an interesting game, I could not refrain from making it. The following day, it was with pleasure that I had read in the paper how Mikhail Tal, after carefully thinking over the position for 40 minutes, made an accurately calculated piece sacrifice. Okay, what Anish said? It's like saying I was wondering why Humpty Dumpty fell from a wall onto my chessboard. Yeah. So basically, Tal was kind of sitting there thinking about how to get this hippopotamus out of this marsh. While, calculating, half calculating of knight g7. And then at the end, he said, okay, what the hell, let me play knight g7. So, in the game, of course, he takes the knight. So, I was checking this game little bit, yeah. And again, if you look with computer, sometimes it's very difficult to miss the imagination. Again, I will try to interpret in my own way. I might be wrong. So king g7, knight d4 happened. And Tal says there were many moves, yeah. So of course, two major important move I felt was knight c5 and knight f4. So computer says knight f4 is the main move. And here, if I look at computer's main variation, it says queen g4 check, king h8, bishop takes a8, bishop takes c4, very complicated. I cannot be sure because Tal does not mention what he saw, but somehow I don't, like, I personally don't feel this was Tal's direction. I can be totally wrong, guys, but somehow I feel this was not his direction. I think he was more inclined towards the following move, because I also feel this is more like Tal, which computer doesn't say, like, it's not his computer's top choice. I think Tal was intending queen h5. This is so much like Tal. And I can totally imagine, him getting excited for this move. Just to give you an idea, okay, first of all, okay, we will of course see knight h5, that's the main move. But let's say if f5, now takes, and ironically g3 is the best move. I mean, I can totally imagine, Tal getting lost in thoughts of along this line. But knight h5, computer rejects because of knight into h5. It's kind of, it's very complex line. Knight into e6 check. Now it is very important black goes to g8 and not h8, because we will reach the same position. We will reach, either way we will reach this position, but with the king on h8 you can see there is rook h7 check, and h5 knight is kind of hanging. So the same position black has to put his king on g8, and then takes, and this time play rook c8. And computer calls this position as, good compensation for white, and it's kind of equal in computer's term. But my interpretation would be that in knight f4 he was thinking for queen h5, but I can never be sure, of course. So knight d4, he played his opponent played knight c5. And yeah, queen g4 check happened. Like also here he could play, for instance, knight e6 check, take, bishop d5 and take on a8, but he did not go for that. So obviously he doesn't want to give this bishop yet. So he plays check. Here takes, rook a e8, takes, bishop h2 check. Apparently the position is fine. Again, all these things are fine when you are sitting in AC room and turn on the engine and say, yeah, f5 was draw. But in a tournament game things are completely different, and I totally get it what his opponent played. He played queen f4, trying to liquidate. And all right, very quickly one puzzle. What do you think is white's move here? Queen f4 was a blunder. Yeah, Shayan Rai, I also think Tal would never take that rook. Frank Procheta. Sarvanan is asking a general question to you. In such complicated positions such as this, how does one come to a decision on choosing moves when it is impossible to calculate fully? I would say it depends on what actually interests us. Like there might be similar options, and I might get attracted to a completely different variation. Anish might think differently, Adiban might think differently. Everybody will have their own taste. So I think a lot depends on that. A lot of people are saying g3 here, but g3, guys, there is e4 bishop is also hanging, remember? Look, either way one of the bishop is falling. If you play g3, queen takes e4 is happening. If you play rook e1, queen takes h4 is happening. But there is a straightforward win here. Nikhilesh is asking, this book has how many pages? I can tell you, it's 492. Actually 496. It's a very good book, but I would recommend everyone, but just, don't ever think of switching on computer. Yes, some of you got it right. Yeah, Ashwin Agarwal, Gaurav Singh, yes. Yeah, Queen H5. Out of nowhere. The point is, right, now I'm threatening here. And if you play Rook takes E4, I play Rook D7, there is no way to defend. And if you take Queen takes E4, now I play Rook F1. Now I'm going for this queen. And again there is no square, because okay, if you go queen here, I can still kind of take here. So he plays this, yeah, and then Tal went on to win this game. And he won this endgame. So this was the Hippo game. Very, very interesting game. Who knows the story behind this? Who knows the story behind this, guys? This is white to play. Tell me who knows the story about this, and tell me who knows about the 1959 candidates. So, okay, before we get there, let me tell a little bit about Tal and Fischer, yeah? So, in 1959, this is the candidates which Tal won. Back then, there were 28 rounds, yeah? They used to play 28 rounds, so each player, 8 players would participate, and each player will play with other player 4 times. So 4 into 7, 28 rounds. And this tournament was held in 3 parts. So Bled, the capital of Slovenia, Zagreb in Croatia, and Belgrade is Serbia. So in 3 places this tournament was held, 1959 candidates, the one which Tal won. Now Fischer had a disaster in this tournament, especially against Tal. He lost all 4 games in 1959 candidates. Now Fischer had very fixed repertoire back then, and in Caro-Kann he was always playing 2 knights. So e4 c6, he would play knight f3, d5, knight c3. So he was always playing 2 knights in Caro-Kann. So there is a very funny video where Tal is playing against Fischer, and Fischer is already like he has lost so many games and he was not in very best shape. But Tal was playing back then Sicilian. But in that game, what he did, he pushes the pawn to c6. Since Fischer has a very bad score, like he was really struggling in Caro-Kann there, he pushes the pawn to c6, gives a smile, and goes for c5. Look at this. Fischer had played e4. Tal takes his time. c6, gives a smile. c5. And Fischer is very happy. I like the way Tal did it. So this was the Tal Fischer video, right? And but to be honest, actually the next candidates, when in 1962, when again they played in the candidates, Tal was already suffering, he has some physical health issues, so he had to be hospitalized. And as the story goes, that Fischer was the only person who actually visited Tal in the hospital, and there is a very famous photo. This is in Curaçao, the next candidates. By then already again actually Botvinnik won. So Botvinnik won? Yeah, Botvinnik won. So Fischer visited Tal in the hospital, and you can see they are analyzing. Yeah. So anyways, this is the Tal thing, Tal Fischer thing. So what is the story behind this? Why did I choose this game? There is a very nice story behind this. Anyone knows the story? This particular position, something happened. Something happened in this particular position. Please tell me if you know it. Or I can read it. You want me to read it? Don't take it wrong, but love the solo sessions more than when you have guests. Thank you, Adivan. Why else do you think I didn't invite you in the stream? No, yeah, Adivan, you're a sweetheart. Just joking. You know, actually, this stream gave me a lot of confidence because I am generally very skeptical that, you know, if I do solo stream, nobody will watch because, you know, people will get bored. So, Ilampath, you were right. Ilampath, you were right. Yeah, Tal smiled. Okay, I will read what Tal says here. Page 123. So Tal says, it is famous because it was here that a widely known psychological duel took place between us. Every player has his own habit. One will first make his move and then write it down, while another will do things the other way around. By the way, guys, nowadays this rule is not applicable in FIDE anymore. Like earlier it used to be you can even write the move and then play. But nowadays you have to make the move and only then you can write. Alright, so he says, however, in our game, Fischer first wrote down the move 22 Rook A E1 exclamation. Without the doubt, the strongest. And he wrote it not in his usual English notation, but in European, almost Russian. Then he, not very deftly, pushed the score sheet towards me. He is asking for an endorsement. I thought to myself, but how was I to react? To frown was impossible. If I smiled, he would suspect trickery. And so I did the natural thing. I got up and began to calmly walk up and down the stage. I met Petrosian, made some joke to him, and he replied. The 15-year-old Fischer, who was essentially still only a large child, sat with a confused expression on his face, looking first at the front row of the spectators where his second was sitting and then at me. Then he wrote down another move, Queen C6, which is a mistake. I held on to my extra piece and adjourned the game in a 1 position. When I later asked Fischer why he had not played Rook A E1, he replied, well, you kind of laughed when I wrote it down. So that's the story. By the way, there is also another interesting story from this same page. I'll read that too. He says, after this, my second gave me my word to offer a draw in the last round on move 12. At that time, my score against Benko was 5-0. And the idea that he might refuse the draw somehow never occurred to me. Okay, if he makes a draw, he's winning candidates. So now he's asking, now the journalist who is, again Tal, he is asking, especially after the performance with the glasses. Now Tal says, yes, of course, in the third cycle, so third cycle was in Belgrade, I think. Yes, of course, in the third cycle, when we sat down at the board, Benko Gambit, remember? So Paul Benko, who had earlier suspected me of hypnotizing him, took out of his pocket a pair of dark glasses and put them on. This innovation, like any that the opponent knows about beforehand, was met by a counterstroke. I had borrowed some enormous dark glasses from Petrosian, and following Benko, I straight away put them on. Not only the spectators laughed, as well as the other participants and the controllers, but also Benko himself. Unlike me, however, he did not remove his glasses until as late as his 20th move, by which time his position was completely hopeless. Alright guys, so those who came late, where is this? This is the book name, Life and Games of Mikhail Tal. So why this position? So as we saw, Fischer wrote rook e1, which is obviously the best move, and then all sorts of threats are coming, and just in case some of you like computers bar, so I will see if I can just get the bar and not the variation. Yeah, so I got the bar. So you see, this is the position, right? Fischer played queen c6, and I don't know if the bar is changing or not, because here it shows now it's kind of, yeah, this was the game, and you can see the bar is kind of, this green thing is dropping, dropping towards black, and now this is completely winning. But rook a e1 is the move, and then queen c6, and it's still equal. So that's the reason I chose this particular position. Aniruddha Ravi is saying, given a choice, who would you play, Tal or pure chess? Tal for pure chess or Magnus for bullet? You and Anish are the best chess streamers. Be confident. We are here for you. Thanks Aniruddha. I would definitely play against Tal, because with Magnus I have played. So I would. Did I miss some chat? Yeah, Adivan is saying he will smile. Mayur, thanks for joining. Alright, let's see what I have next. Why did I choose this Olympiad? This is again. Sorry, this was the Varna Olympiad. This is the Varna Olympiad. This is not Varna Olympiad. This is this is Varna Olympiad. Sure. The other Olympiad, right? Yeah, this is another thing I wanted to show. The other Olympiad. Remember this Tal and Che Guevara? There are some very good photos. I think it was some article came in chess.com. I can quickly show. So here you get all of them. So here Fischer is talking with Fidel Castro. The Che Guevara is watching the match. Petrosian is playing with Fidel. And we already saw a photo of Tal talking with Che Guevara. So this is Havana Olympiad. This is I think 1966, and Varna Olympiad, which we saw Fischer brought winning, that was 1962. All right, enough of history. Back to chess, guys. So this position, his opponent says, Tal played. Tal actually mentioned that this particular game, he says it was unofficially considered as the most brilliant game of the Olympiad. So probably there were no particular prize for best game or something. So knight c4 he plays, queen e6, e5. Okay, so he's attacking this knight and also threatening some sort of knight d6. His opponent played a very interesting move. He plays b5. So the idea is, if you play knight d6 check, I'll take queen takes d6. What would Tal do here? Chat, I give you the permission to find the moves. Thanks, Adivan. Yeah, guys, if you like the video, please like and do subscribe. If you really like it, then become a member. Yeah, many of you got right. It's very interesting. Like, it's possible to play queen b3, which is what his opponent was expecting. This guy H from German, Hecht, I think. So ef6. Now his opponent says, yeah, I almost fell out of my chair when I saw this reply, since I was counting only with queen b3. But that was not all. Suddenly, a large demonstration board appeared on my right, and our position was being quickly set up. Sensation seeking spectators were rushing towards our table. In addition, Tal's teammates were crowding around our board, resembling organ pipes. So yeah, EF6. Somehow here nobody mentioned short castle, which is surprising, which is a very valid move actually. But this was not mentioned anywhere. So bishop, he takes the queen. F takes G7. Here. And bishop F5. Saurabh Misra is asking the page number. I don't know. I mean, I can find. No, this one was not given in. I don't think this was analyzed by Tal. He just mentions the game. Yeah, if you really like to get the page number, or I don't know if you're mocking me, but anyways. So page number is 234. But this is without analysis. This is without analysis. So bishop F5. I mean, what a move. When he is sacrificing, yeah. He takes here, gives a queen, and sacrifices two pieces again. So let's have a quick look where this queen is going. So first of all, you cannot take. Then I check and take. And what do I have right now? I have one bishop for a queen. And how are we doing in the pawns? 4 to 6, 4 to 6. So we have right now only one bishop for the queen. Oh, Saurabh, okay. Thank you. Okay, so that's good. That's good that you have the book. So other move is queen takes c4, but now there is check, and look what this pawn has done. All the squares are controlled, and I think some variations like this, but yeah, now this leads to direct mate. I imagine Tal must have spotted this in 1 minute, less than 1 minute probably, that particular mate. So cannot take. Again, computer finds a fascinating move here. Bishop a6. I don't think it's very easy to find bishop a6. I mean, you can take 3 pieces and 1 pawn, and you don't take any of this, and you play bishop a6. This is I would say it's not exactly human. Adivan says queens are overrated. So anyway, bishop a6 was the move, but his opponent played. By the way, bishop a6 is not. It's not like white is worse or anything. It's just a normal position. His opponent saw a trick that okay, I will take your queen. I will take your bishop. You take, and I will play this move. So basically now he is saying okay, this knight is under attack, and if you move this bishop, then the knight is falling, right? But of course Tal had seen this from a distance, and he finds the counter tactics. Knight d6 check, king e7, bishop c4. Such a nice geometry. Okay, rook takes g7, attacking on g2, protects, and he won this. This endgame is actually close to equal, but Tal won this game. But what was very fascinating for me was this particular trick, bishop f5. My next game starts from here. This was played in 1958. So yeah, Tal basically in his prime. Yeah, 59 he won the candidate. So oops, yeah, there you go. This is black to play. Yeah, so like this game is also very famous. So last 2 games basically I kept it as pretty much popular game. Yeah, nowadays Ilamparthi is basically suggesting the move even before it arrived on the position. Anyways, yeah, king b1, b5. His opponent played knight d5. The idea is, okay, if you take, he takes here, and right now the queen is attacked. That was the point of king b1 actually. So king b1, white was kind of threatening to play knight d5 so that, take, there is check. But Tal says, you know what, go ahead and play knight d5. So he plays knight d5. Tal simply takes it. Says, I want to take my queen. Okay, feel free. Takes the queen. Knight e3. Now this is hanging. The other game we saw, he gave queen for one bishop. So here bishop and knight. Yeah, so it's better deal. Rook c1, knight into c4. Yeah, now already it's very difficult. Like, where to put this queen? I thought maybe queen e1, but cd4. It's not about the material. It's more about the harmony of pieces. There is, like, everything is. When I look at this position, it looks like everything is so cluttered in white's position. And already we have like bishop, knight and 2 pawns. So rook takes c4, takes. And just, like, this pawn is so weak. And look at this monster. Look at this guy. So basically, this is white's problem. I mean, if white king, imagine, if white king would be on h1, then still, I mean, I would probably still prefer black. But at least that is something different. But here, just no chance. Just no chance. Yeah, c3 is nice, yeah, because knight is coming to c4. So what to do? Yeah, just bringing all the pieces. Engines are evaluating this position as completely winning for black. So this was a perfect sacrifice. You guys will kill me that I had actually selected many more positions, but then I thought, okay, who is, if I make it too long, it might be boring. So then I ended up deleting. So this is my last game. Sorry guys. I wanted to also show some games where, Tal is making mistakes and then winning. These games with Botvinnik. But then I was not sure if it will be very enjoyable or not. So I'm only prepared for today. This will be my last game. Moments. Have you tried Moments? New Ferrero Rocher. Kind of nice. I don't really like milk chocolates, but this one is fine. Yeah, well, okay. Next time I will do it slightly more longer. Oh, Adivan, I have crossed you in subs, yeah. But the question is, are you subscribed to my channel? That is the only question I want to know. Yeah, this is also an interesting game. So, of course, Tal takes knight into e6 here. Actually, by the way, the game actually started here. So, he plays e5, takes, and d5. Yeah, this was the position. So, Gagandip is asking, do a book recommendation video. You know what? In Chessbase India, I saw Sarvanan made book recommendation video, and he's very good in. You can watch that video. He explains very nicely. So what happened here? So he takes knight into e6. Okay, so f into e6, check. What is the idea? I guess, yeah, if you go here, then either rook d4 or rook f1, it gives good compensation. So what black did was, black found a very nice resource. Black plays g6. He says, you know what, take this pawn, but I am kind of creating a square here. So check here, check here. And now Tal being Tal, of course, like at first sight it looks like, okay, this is attacked. Then this guy is under attack. But of course there is a resource. Because you cannot take, I have f5. Computer says b4 is the best move here. Okay, he plays knight f6, which is not ideal. Yeah, there were many ups and downs in the game. Like for instance here f5 machine says. But the game itself is kind of very interesting. Tal being Tal, yeah, he goes all out. Hey, thanks Avik. Yeah, that's a nice batch. So here f5. So what do we have right now? Again bishop for a queen. And yeah, now bishop e5 is coming. And Tal went on to win this game. What a nice way. Yeah, now there is nothing to be done. Let's look at this tactics also. Yeah, even at the end, yeah. Rook f8. If you take here, then a queen. And here. Finally king pawn endgame is winning, yeah, because I'll just come here, I'll sack one of these pawns, then collect. Yeah, actually I don't even have to do that basically, sorry. I am just getting this pawn by force. So this was more or less it, guys. And I can chat a bit, I can take some of your questions, but yeah, I mean, of course I cannot show all the games, but now I wish that I had included some more games. Maybe some other time. I was also thinking maybe I should do some classic sessions, like, you know, show some games of, I don't know, Botvinnik or Petrosian. How did you like the stream, guys? Abhik Mukherjee is asking, are computer often weaker with evaluating close fortress type positions? Yeah, to some extent. Hey Vansh, thank you. Yeah, subscribe, guys. If you like my channel, if you like the content, please do subscribe. And Adiban, subscribe, but don't subscribe twice, do it once. Vansh is a new member. Thank you. Thanks Padmini. Thank you, thanks guys. To be honest, this gives me a lot of confidence, because I was really not sure, you know, if I'll do a solo stream, if people will watch or not. Sarvanan is asking how much of my chess is calculation and intuition. I would say this way, if I am in very good shape, then my intuition is also doing fine. But generally I don't mind calculating. I am never shying away from calculation. But I have noticed that if I'm in very good shape, I'm usually playing very fast and I'm trusting my intuition. And when I'm not very confident, then actually I don't trust my intuition, then I try to calculate more. Yeah, Swatik, yeah, meditation helps, definitely. Adivan says I have learned my lesson. Gagandeep, yeah, I could make this into series, but this was some sort of birthday special. And you know at what point I got this idea? Yesterday night. And when I actually thought that I will make the stream, I think it was around already 12:30 at the night. So then, yeah, I found some of the photos. This OBS took some time. And the chess part, chess part was, I would say, was rather easy, because okay, selecting the games was not very difficult. By the way, guys, I have started membership, so please join. There are 3 layers. So the first layer is like more when there is there will be chats exclusively for members. The third one, the final layer, is when if you take that membership, I'll play with you guys on stream. So anyway, I'll make a video and post, but do become member if you like. How to develop good intuition? This is not easy. I would first of all say, like, do solve lots of positions, so you some patterns get recognized, and then you somehow, the more patterns it's also easier. It's also easier to take decisions. Ashwin Agarwal is saying, Surya Shekhar Ganguly, how many times you bet Carl? I have never defeated Carlson. So I was very close in one rapid game. I had mate in 3, but I missed. But yeah, he defeated me in I lost FIDE Grand Swiss. So yeah, I only once drew with him. Adivan says, this was epic stream idea. I was so jealous I didn't do it. Yeah, I wish, Adivan, we could do this together actually. We can do some stream together. Tal was from Latvia. Yeah, guys, there is another thing I wanted to share. So I was in Latvia for 1 month actually. I was working with Shirov. So Alexei Shirov was also Mikhail Tal's student. Yeah, he got some coaching from Tal. And one day, I was asking him, so Alexei, if you could tell me about Tal, something personal, your interaction and so on. And Alexei, being Alexei, the first thing he says, Surya, the chair right you are sitting right now? I said, yes. He said, that's Tal's chair. He gave me this. I was like, what? So I'm sitting in Tal's chair. So yeah, that is something that I remembered from Latvia. Yeah, so I actually thought of reading many more stories. This book is full of very nice stories. Padmini says, gangs, I think Eddie wants to stream about Tal, not with you. Alright, Eddie. I am sure there are many more games left. Actually, I personally wanted to include many more games. But then I also saw most of the games, right? Like, for instance, the last 2 games, these are so famous that it has been streamed in YouTube number of times. So I think I found at least few games which people did not see. Most of you, did not see. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, Tal towards his he was smoking a lot, and as we saw in this nice photo here, like where Fischer visits Tal in Curaçao Candidates 1962. So yeah, he was sick number of times. Like he had kidney issues. There were many things. Yeah. So all right, and I guess it's bye time. Anything else before I sign off? Only stream I am gonna do with gangs is actual conversation with Surya Ganguly. Sure. Anuj Bajpai saying, sir, I am a 1100 rated player and it is very difficult for me to think positionally. So sir, can you please help me with that, and how can I improve my rating? Great respect, sir. Well, thank you guys. I have been I will be announcing this number of times. So there is an academy coming, online academy. It's called Pro Chess Academy, and we have got Ramesh, myself, Srinath, Vishnu, Sam Sundar, Swapnil Lopade, Swams Misra, Padmini as coach. And also there is Vladimirov, Nisipiano, Hari Krishna, Kazim Zanov, Alexei Shirov. There are many coaches, and you name any Indian top coach, they are there. And basically we have 5 different groups which is divided rating wise, and we have proper syllabus. Like if you are 1800, what we are going to show you. If you are 1300, what we are going to show you. And you can join this academy. It's very, very much affordable, and you get everyday classes and classes dedicated to your rating. So like, let's say if you're 1400, or let's say if you're 1500, your class will be meant for that rating group. So it will not be an open session. and seats are limited also in different groups. I will the highest group is 2400 plus group. There are only 25 seats there. There the trainers are Rustam Kazimzanov, Shirov, Elianov, Nisipiano, myself, Ramesh, Vishnu, Srinath. So we have some exact structure. I would share the file in one of my streams for sure, and if you want, you can join. And especially, a lot of people were asking, what about the players who are not rated? I think this is a very, very important issue, because what happened during this lockdown is many players picked up chess, and they would have got rating if there was a tournament, but they have been playing chess, but they don't have a FIDE rating. So we cannot deprive them for not joining. So our groups are like 1000 to 1400, 1400 to 1800, 1800 to 2200, 2200 to 2400, and then 2400 above. So basically, if you are unrated player and if you want to join, of course you can only join in 1000 to 1400 group. What we are doing is we want to maintain the group standard, right? Like for instance, if you are 1400 and you join in 2200, it's not good for you, it's not good for them. So what we are planning is we will have an assessment test for all the players who does not have rating, and we will announce this very soon. And once you pass that test, that means you are eligible to join in the 1000 to 1400 group, right? And and once that is done, then the registration will open and you can enroll. Right now you can send the mail, or you can send any kind of queries at prochesstraining@gmail.com. Thanks Vansh. So there is a registration link which Vansh has given. So you can fill up the Google form and ask your queries. After this Comedians on Board gets over on that's getting over on 21st, I think. So 22nd we will we'll have some demo classes, and in the demo class also there will be limited seats where you can actually attend the demo class for free and see how it will be. But basically the concept is, right, I'll give you the concept. So for all the groups, I'm not talking about 2400 plus groups, but for all the groups, all the other groups starting from 1000, what we are planning is, so weekly you will get one seminar by some grandmaster, strong grandmaster. So it will be either me or Ramesh, or we have Murli, we have Naredowski, or some 2600 player. So you'll get one seminar. You will get 3 classes, mostly from grandmasters. Sometimes you get from either WGM or IM. So you get 3 classes, 1 seminar. You get one review test where we'll upload the whole week classwork, and you have to give some sort of review test so that we can keep a track how we are improving. Guys, this will be very, very serious thing. So there will be join this only if you want to improve chess. There is no other room for this. Like, we are taking just so that you improve your chess. There is no other purpose. So there will be review test. There will be one day training. There will be twice you will get training games, twice you will get blitz tournament. Training games, we will select the position and you have to play from that particular position. So all those things we will be selecting. So there will be training games, there will be blitz tournament, there will be review test, 3 classes, and one seminar by some grandmaster. So basically 7 days a week, and this will go throughout the year. So if we take it monthly, right? So monthly you get 4 seminar by some 2600 players, 12 classes by some title players, grandmasters, WGM or international masters, 12 classes. Then you get 8 training games, 8 blitz tournament, and 4 review test. And the categories are divided, and the fees are it's monthly fees. So it's starting from if I remember correctly, I think it's between $60 to $100 depending on which group you are in. So I think we start with $60 and the highest group is $100. I'm not talking about 2400 plus, that's a different thing. So Yeah, Adiban, by the way, as a student you can join, and if you are interested as a coach also you can join. In our highest group already Prag joined, Arjun joined, Sankalp is there, Padmini is there, Arjun is there, Daniel is there, Murli is there. So yeah, so there are many strong players who have joined. And no guys, this is definitely not free. This is definitely not free because we also have to pay to the coaches. I'm actually a coach there also. So we'll make yeah, $60 to $100 per month. And if you think, yeah, like you get everyday coaching and from grandmaster, I mean, and this is not like, it will not be like YouTube stream, right? It will be like dedicated, the course structure will be dedicated as per your strength. Like there it is not going to happen that, you know, you are in 1600 and you go and we are talking like a grandmaster. That's not going to happen. Or let's say if you're 2200, you join that, we are not going to talk about you know, at very basic level. You will get syllabus as per your strength. So yeah, so that's one thing I wanted to announce. And soon we'll be announcing, we'll be sending emails and everything. I'll be yeah, just to strollers, as we'll be student there. Well, yeah, cost, as I said, yeah, it's Mayur also said it's $60 to $100 per month. So basically, if you divide it, I don't know, it comes around, somebody has to do the math, but probably, you know, 50 rupees per class or something like that it is coming. You have to do the maths. I mean, even if you take it $100 per, $100 is what, for 2200 to 2400 group, it's $100. So that's like 7,000 per month. But if you look that, you know, what the classes you are getting, it's probably comes down to 50 rupees per class or something. So this is something, this is I would say this is a fantastic initiative, because as I said, like all top Indian coaches are there literally. I mean, there's Vishnu, Ramesh, Magesh, Swapnil, Sam, Sham Sundar, Srinath, myself. So we got pretty much everyone. Daniel Naradowski is also there. Interestingly, he is a student as well as a coach. So he will be taking, he's joining as student in the highest group, that is 2400 plus group. But he is also teaching in the lower groups. So that's also kind of interesting. Alright guys, Ginish Ari says, great deal. I like the name. So yeah, with that, somebody, Harshit made the maths. 100 rupees per day approx and GM coaching, that's very great and affordable. I think so. I think it is, it makes a lot of sense. And we will give you the exact schedule, like you know, when the classes will take place, who will take your class, who are the coaches. So pretty much everything you will get. Thanks Adiban for joining. And Krish Gupta says, shout out Dedo. Thanks Krish Gupta for joining. So with that note, let me end the stream. Guys, please do subscribe. Please tell others to subscribe so that the videos reaches to, you know, maximum people. And I personally enjoyed a lot doing this stream. So I was telling in my house that, you know, this is the kind of stream that I can do for 4 hours without getting bored. Really, I mean, I would do it effortlessly. But my only problem is I get a bit nervous that maybe you people will not like it if I keep on talking about chess. So I can go on for hours on. So, Hare once tere ko bhi shout out. So basically, yeah, next time I'll make a longer stream if I'm streaming something like this. And tomorrow back to the Samay coaching if he has time. I told him, he said he will join. So tomorrow with Samay again. And today I think 9 o'clock Samay is streaming with Anish. I'm also looking forward to that. Anubhav Ghoshal is saying Sagar isn't there. What do you mean top Indian coaches are there? Anubhav Ghoshal, Sagar, yeah. So Sagar has Sagar is always teaching in an open platform. So he likes it in this way, you know, like I approached him, of course, but he likes it this way that, you know, he's overloaded with lot of work. And this coaching also needs a separate kind of commitments, right? because it has to be categorized, it has to be rating wise, and what Sagar is doing is fantastic with his YouTube and channel and all, but this requires also different kind of dedication. Like I cannot give that kind of dedication in for YouTube, but his job is he's doing it full time, he's doing a fascinating thing, so that's why he's not he won't be able to join. But of course, his material is available out there in YouTube. Yeah, so end with a story. All right, what story? Somebody was saying some Anand story. What Anand story? I don't remember any Anand story. How many month class? It goes throughout the, it's got like throughout the year, every single day. Like once you join, you get your class every single day for 1 hour. The only difference, like the only thing I'll request is like join this only if you're serious about chess. So there is not going to be, you go there if you're looking for entertainment. That's not happening. I think it will be a bit more serious, so it will be structured so that we just focus chess and only chess. YouTube will be there. I will be entertaining in YouTube, so that will be there. Anand story, which story here? Okay, one I told you already. This my first meeting with Anand and about the time. Did I tell you this when first time I met Anand and how I was late? Alright, so those who are not aware, so basically when first time I went to Germany and Anand for Anand's training, for this Kramnik match, and there were 4 of us, 4 seconds. One was Rustam Kazimdanov, German, he's from Asian but he lives in German, and then Peter Heine Nielsen from Denmark, and Radoslav Wojtacek from Poland. And on the first day, right, so we were supposed to meet, we were staying in a hotel and we were supposed to meet around 10:30. So our training would start around 11, but it takes time, it's uphill Anand's place, so it would take time. So we meet at 10:30. Our training would start at 11 o'clock, and pretty much every day from 11 a.m. until 1 a.m. We used to train, and this went for months, like literally months. And once in a week or once in 10 days we'll get a rest day when we'll completely dead tired. So the first day 10:30 we are supposed to meet. I come down in the lobby and Rustam says, Surya, is everything fine? I says, yeah, everything is fine. He says, health? I says, yeah, great. No problem. I said, no problem. So what's wrong? He's like, then why are you late? I said, late? I look at the watch, yeah, it's like 10:32 or 10:33. I come from India, I'm a Bengali, so I don't even understand what he's saying. It just took me so much time to understand what he's actually saying. What is this? Why I am late? And then I understood, yeah, if 10:30 means 10:30, it does not mean 10:31. So that's why, guys, when I'm doing solo and when you say late OP, I will never believe, because if I say 6 o'clock, it will be at 6 o'clock. It will not be at 6:01. But when I have a guest, then it depends. Yeah, then I'm also kind of dependent on him or her. Then it can get tricky. But usually I try to maintain this. On my stream, at least solo stream, you will see I'm always maintaining this stuff. Yeah, so I think that's it. Yeah. And other stories are today already I shared many stories. Do you like my t-shirt? Check, it's like heartbeat. Nice, no? Yeah. Alright, guys, with that note I will sign off. Every day somebody is asking whether I'm married or not. Yes, I'm married. Not taking any more ristas. Alright, I have got very nice voice. Who says I have got very nice voice? First name services, I have got very nice voice. Thank you. As I say, normally I don't sing because I don't sing normally. So other than that, everything is cool. Nice dress. Thanks, Padmini. Way story with Adiban is already, I told it already. It's just the highlight. Yeah, I'll ask them to upload the final part. Harshit, weren't you supposed to talk to Shahid and upload the final part of Way story? Because I already said them. I already said. I already told the story. Yes, because already in one stream the story was said, so it'll get uploaded. It'll get uploaded soon, guys. All right. With that note, I will sign off for dinner, and as usual in my end screen, I have made a point that every time I'll try to keep changing photos and make it interesting. Bye bye. Take care, guys. Good night. Good night. Why don't I sing? Because I love my subscribers. Jannavi. I love all my subscribers, so that's why I don't sing. I don't want to give them heart attack. If you want to listen to some nice song, go to Adiban's channel. He's a fantastic singer. That's what. All right. Take care. Bye. Good night. And check my last photo. Bye bye.